What is exophobia? It's a question that echoes through the desolate corridors of a crashed spaceship, a mystery waiting to be unraveled. This indie game, a love letter to classic first-person shooters such as Doom and Wolfenstein, invites players on a mysterious and atmospheric journey into a world of eerie silence, punctuated by intermittent challenges of various sorts. Harkening to its Metroid-inspired roots, Exophobia masterfully constructs a sense of isolation and even dread at times through its atmospheric design. The color palette is intentionally vibrant and contrasting, yet it creates an odd sort of haunting ambience that permeates every corner of the spaceship. Pixelated, yet finely detailed, the visuals evoke a sense of retro charm while maintaining a contemporary edge. This is especially clear in the gameplay, as it feels smooth and a joy to play. But we'll get there. Exophobia offers a thrilling blend of fast-paced action and strategic gameplay. The core mechanic revolves around precise movement and accuracy. The game's decision to eliminate vertical movement in the style of Wolfenstein or Doom forces players to master the horizontal agility, transforming combat into a dance of evasion and firepower. Each encounter is a sort of ballet of bullets and dodges, demanding quick reflexes, and this only becomes increasingly challenging and enjoyable as the title continues on. New upgrades and mobility powers are discovered, while simultaneously new enemies are introduced with different movesets or weaknesses that the player is meant to learn and exploit. Beneath its action-packed exterior, Exophobia harbors a Metroidvania soul that rewards exploration and curiosity, yet doesn't force the player to explore too much if they aren't interested in that sort of thing. The spaceship is a labyrinth-like structure filled with hidden chambers and secret passages, and it invites players to uncover the secrets that lay scattered about. As players venture deeper into the vessel, they unlock new abilities and equipment, granting them access to previously unreachable areas. Many of these areas are optional. Some provide health power-ups, and others simply offer Easter eggs for curious players. I liked finding as many of these as I could, but I always enjoy keeping these sorts of blocked-off areas in the back of my mind as I play through the game. There are also various puzzles of sorts the player will encounter while exploring the ship. These range from movement-based puzzles, such as which crane rails to take and how to approach them to get where you want to go, to ones in which you must move certain objects across potentially hazardous areas to open access doors. While the puzzles do not offer any groundbreaking gameplay, they felt as though they were integrated well with the mechanics and break up the exploration and shooting components with something a little different. Many times these are optional and contain upgrades or bonus items. The map system adds an extra layer of challenge and satisfaction, though I have no doubt this is a controversial feature for some players. With limited battery life, players must carefully choose when to consult their map, fostering a sense of reliance on spatial memory and observation. While I personally love that the map must be recharged at the save station, you should be saving often anyway, there is an option in the menu to disable the battery function if it truly bothers you. Exophobia's Metroidvania elements are seamlessly integrated into the first-person shooter framework of classic titles like Doom. The gradual acquisition of new abilities creates a sense of progression and empowers players to revisit old areas with fresh perspectives. While the narrative is primarily conveyed through environmental storytelling and a few discoverable logs, the game effectively builds up a sense of mystery and intrigue, leaving players to piece together the fate of the spaceship's crew. While I felt initially there was really nothing to learn or go on, it wasn't long into the game that I began to unravel the situation for myself and started to really enjoy the Metroid-esque storytelling I was experiencing. While there are no story sequences per se, there are written logs the player can find throughout the ship that help explain a few of the finer details which may not be completely apparent when exploring only the environment. The game's Metroid DNA is also apparent in terms of the game's power-ups and the functions they perform. You'll need to be using those recently acquired power-ups in short order to clear previously impassable paths on the 4 levels of the station, or to defeat new enemies you encounter. If you find yourself having a tough time, particularly on harder difficulties in which enemies hit harder, be sure to reevaluate all of the options available to you, especially recently acquired ones. This leads us into optional pickups and upgrades. Throughout the 4 levels of the ship, curious and persistent players may find the aforementioned written logs, health upgrades, and other Easter eggs throughout the map. There are also 2 endings to this game, one of which is attained by achieving certain goals on the ship before the end of the game. Exophobia, despite having relatively few weapon and movement abilities compared to some much larger titles, feels incredible to play and offers a reasonable challenge. Beyond normal and easier difficulties, the game offers a hard and hell difficulty. For this video, I chose to play through on hard for my first playthrough of the game. While the casual exploration of the game didn't give me any chronic problems, some of the bosses rang me out without a doubt. Even in the event I could get the pattern down, I would have a hard time keeping up with everything the game would throw at me, so only masters of the game's movement should check out the hell difficulty, I would think. Overall, I really enjoyed the level of challenge I experienced with the game on hard. While there were a few moments of frustration, that's to be expected, and players always have the option to reduce or alter the difficulty to any level mid-gameplay. Exophobia simply feels good to play. Between the boosting power-up and the tight controls, the game seems like it could be ideal for speedrunning, and I could easily see this being a cult classic, if not more, in the years to come. Zarc Attack did an amazing job with this title, and I'd strongly recommend a look. I'll provide the caveat that Zarc did provide this game for me to try for free, but there were absolutely no expectations for a positive perspective. In fact, I hadn't even heard of this game before, and it probably wouldn't have crossed my radar. In that regard, I'm glad this happened, and I was able to play this title as I loved it. At this point, I'm looking to purchase the physical version, so I'll likely be ordering that, as I'd love to add this to my collection. My only regret is that there's no physical PC version, as that's the one I'd really want. I'd also like to add that I was fortunate enough to be able to have a few choice questions asked of the developer, José Castanheira of Zarc Attack, for this video. Let's proceed with the interview. My first question would be about yourself. How long have you been gaming, and what are some of your top games of all time?
Before I got my own console, I only played games at friends' houses, and we would have to share the controller, lol. My first console was a Game Boy Color, and I have really good memories with Pokemon Silver and some Looney Tunes games. After that, I also got into emulation and played retro classics like Sonic and Mega Man, which are some of my favorite franchises. But my favorite platformer hero will always be Rayman.
As a follow-up, at what point did you decide you would like to make games? How long have you been a game developer?
I discovered I could make games when I typed "how to make games" in Google, lol. I was 14, so 16 years ago. Before that, I used to draw my own characters and levels. I started enjoying making games, and it became a dream of mine to release a real game. So I started studying it more rigorously, and went to a computer science course to learn about programming, while working on my art as well.
Regarding the development of Exophobia, what are the biggest influences in terms of historical gaming titles that led to the creation of Exophobia specifically?
The biggest influences are for sure Mega Man and Metroid. Then the way I design a game is very connected to the type of games I like to play, and this all comes very naturally. I like simple, fun games that don't bore you with much story, detailed mechanics, or lots of numbers on the screen, and that is why I was able to make my own interpretation of an FPS.
What was the approximate development time of Exophobia, and is this a one-man operation in terms of game design and mechanics?
Development time for Exophobia started in late 2019, but the first game jam prototype where the idea was born was in 2016. So I would say 4 to 5 years to get it released. It was my first big game, so I struggled with a lot of things I was encountering for the first time. The team is mostly me and my idea, while I hired freelancers for the music and sound effects.
Is there some particular event or situation that led to the selection of the iconic color scheme that the game utilizes? How did you come to rest with the color scheme you did?
The color scheme was a happy accident. I wanted something that could pop in the game jam version of the game and bring more people to rate it, while still being something simple. So I got the idea to have few colors, and they would represent the contrast between the hot blood and the cold metal. I tweaked it when I started the project for real, but it was there pretty much from the start.
If you could retroactively change one thing during the development of this title, what might that be?
Now that I have a lot more feedback than during development, if I could, I would focus a lot more on making the rooms feel unique, with more art and shapes, instead of adding so many mechanics. I have a lot of fun designing and programming game logic, but not creating environments and level design. So that's why they didn't get a lot of love, and a lot of people got stuck. And some of the mechanics aren't really used to their full potential, so some can be cut.
Are there any thoughts of a potential Exophobia sequel, or is the future too vague to see yet? Either way, are you able to reveal anything about what sort of project you are working on going forward, and what we might expect to see next?
As for the future, an Exophobia sequel is not looking like it's happening. The game didn't get much attention yet. But I have my ideas on how the story could be and how I could improve this retro FPS plus Metroidvania formula. My next projects are probably going to be something completely different. My love for game development is in experimenting with new ideas, so I would like to work on a different genre next.
I would love to thank José Castanheira at Zarc Attack for both giving me the opportunity to ask a few questions and answering those questions. Exophobia is a great game. It's an immersive experience that blends nostalgia with crisp mechanical refinement. By capturing the essence of classic first-person shooters and infusing it with modern design sensibilities, the game creates a compelling and challenging adventure. While it may not reinvent the wheel, Exophobia offers a fresh perspective on a couple of beloved genres, proving that a return to the past can lead to exciting amalgamations. If you're on the fence about this game, GOG.com offers a free demo that's available to try, so that's always an option as well. I hope you enjoyed my look at the indie boomer shooter Exophobia and interview with José Castanheira. If you did, please like the video, and leave a comment below with your thoughts on this game. As always, sharing this video and subscribing to the channel are the most powerful ways for you to tell me that you love this sort of content and that I should continue to produce more. Feel free to take a moment to review the rest of the content on my channel. You'll probably find something you like. As always, I'll see you next time.